All right, so back for the second part and the last part of this is this nozzle, and I'll try to zoom in a little bit more. If you look again down here, the sides on the very end, on the wide end of it, are uh, flattened, and I believe the reason that's for is like a paint sprayer. Sometimes the tip, depending on the position of the tip, it shows you the way that the material will fan out. And I think this is supposed to just be a visual indicator of if the material is fanning out flat, like side to side, or vertically. And so I neglected to put a dimension on that for how wide that is. But the easy thing that I went to look at and find, and for my students, it's completely fine if they want to do it, just kind of helter skelter, do it. However, if we remember that the diameter of this is 0.625 and that there was an eighth of an inch offset, 0.125, right, going to the inside. The flat portion this is wrong. The flat portion is a line that's half the thickness, kind of like I've got it drawn right here, of the wall thickness of the plastic. So one way to do that is if we were to take a circle, like a basic circle, and just say, okay, I want to offset this half of 1.125, half of an eighth of an inch is 0.0625. That's a 16th of an inch. This circle now is going to be placed on the end of the fire extinguisher, and it will be a place that I can line up and attach my slicing planes to. Okay, so what I'm going to do is make a couple of knife edges, basically. All right, and what I'm going to do is make a big rectangle. Just like if you're cutting through a watermelon, you want to make sure that the knife is big enough, ideally, to slice through it in one pass. So I don't know when I cut through this way, I don't know how far back it's going to cut in. So I'm just going to make it plenty big, try it out. And then this is definitely, if this was a pretend knife edge, it's definitely big enough to slice through this in one shot this way. So I can go ahead and put this on my construction layer. And I'm going to have to draw a line through here to arrange it. And then I'm going to need a copy of this when I'm all said and done. Okay. Next, I'm going to go up to a southwest isometric. Again, maybe a southeast isometric is a better way to go, because I want to be able to see the front of this fire extinguisher right here. So first I'm going to go ahead and do a couple of 3D rotates. I'm going to get this one in place this way. And I can go ahead and place this right away. This might be easier to see in wireframe. I'm going to place this circle, which is just for alignment, right here on the end. Okay. So in a minute, I'm going to line this knife edge. I'm going to rotate it and line it up with the quadrant of the circle right here, say like the 9 o'clock and the 3 o'clock quadrants. Now I'm going to rotate what we're considering the knife edge up 90 degrees. Now I'm ready to slice this thing long ways, and all I have to do in order to do it is just copy, place it at that midpoint, and place it at, I don't know why it's not picking up the quadrant, but it should be. You should be able to find a quadrant here and there, and that's where I want to place it. So I'll grab this, copy it, place it here, place it at that point, and place it at that point. So now if I go back to a realistic view, you should be able to see that my knife edge is ready. It's kind of already semi-slicing through here. But here's what I was saying about the sizing. We didn't know. It would have been a really tough calculation to figure out how far this went back to where the slicing was done. So I said, my thing was make it plenty big, but what I'll say is just move it back, just keep nudging it back until you get it to the point where the knife edge is coming out free and clear. It's not buried in the object at all. There's got to be a little gap there. Okay. Don't need this anymore. And what I'm going to do now is use my slice tool. Okay, slice is up here to the right of subtract. So I click slice. It asks me what I want to slice down in the command window. Sorry. Select object to slice. Slice. So I select that object, and then I right click, and it gives me some options of what I want to use to slice it. 3 points means I could just pick a point, pick a point, pick a point, and that 3 points creates a plane. Or since this is a joined rectangle, I can just click planar object, and I click my rectangle. And then the last question it asks me in the command window is, what do I want to do next? And I say I want to keep both sides. The reason I always click keep both sides is because I can never remember how it determines which side is the keeper and which side is trash. So you can see here, when I'm done, it pulled that right away. And I did a little bit of something wrong. My slicing plane maybe was a little bit too far back. It's almost like it was re-slicing further back into it. I could have nudged these down just a tick further, possibly. Oh, I see what it's doing. It was also slicing this part of the flange, and that's because this was in alignment with this. So I neglected to say that that is also, that kind of comes with it. But I'm just fine with that. This is actually true to life, realistic of how the thing looks. So the workaround for that would have been to explode or separate the nozzle and the flange down here. And then I could have sliced it right here. But to me, that's not a big deal because it actually is a little more realistic that way. So I slice, pick what I want to slice, right click, pick a planar object down here from the command window. There's my planar object. Okay, what do I want to do? Keep both sides, then find what needs deleted, hit delete. Now I can erase all this garbage right here. And my nozzle, you can see I'm left with a 1/16 of an inch of thickness. And the reason actually that this is more realistic is because they probably put like a wrench on the end of this to twist it into the fitting on the end of the hose. And so it needs a flat spot on the end. And like I said, I don't have a very good picture, but that is very realistic compared to what the drawing looks like. So nozzle done, and moving on to probably the hose next.